Hello, welcome. My name is David. I'll be your tea guide. So these mats were made in collaboration with María Gómez. And this object is from Lola Daels. This cup is from María Łuczak. I'll be serving some tea. I just ask that we can sit in silence until our first sip. So, how do you feel?
It's warm, soothing.
And how about you?
My first impression was the smell of hospital.
What? Why?
Of the little cups.
Mm.
You're right.
But it's nice to drink a little warm tea.
Nice. Do you have any questions so far?
Just curious what's going to happen next.
And you?
Maybe just, what is the tea?
It's Gyokuro. It's like kind of like a sencha, but it's just a certain way that they grow it with shadow. Yeah, and this is the second infusion. That's why it was quicker. Normally it takes a bit longer. Maybe you're curious to know about this one.
Oh, yes.
So this is a collaboration with Zhou, Junsheng, and myself. So Junsheng and I became friends when he was at Jan van Eyck Academy in Maastricht. And I framed the kind of fragment from his Open Studios presentation. So these are each like tiny photos of his atelier. So he put a camera on one wall and he set it on a timer connected to his computer, so that every few minutes or so it would make a photograph automatically. And then he printed out the entire year as a wallpaper, and he wallpapered his studio. So that's why you have light and dark. It's at different times of the day. And then on this side, you have pictures during the open studios. That's why you see people. And there you have pictures when we met for the first time. I met him at his presentation. And we're talking about this poster that was hanging on one of the walls. And I asked him, what is this blob in the middle? And he said this is a photograph that he took of a 19th century plaster mold for casting a bronze Buddha. But this mold was never broken. So normally when you are making a bronze, you cast it and then break the mold at the end to take out the final piece. But this one was never broken. So inside of there is a Buddha that no one has ever seen before. And Junsheng, he said to me that for him, this photo shows the true face of Buddha, because photos are always lies. They never show the real thing. But this shape is also not showing the Buddha. It's this thing around it. And that for him, we see the true face in the absence. So coincidentally, 1 week before we met, I finished making this sculpture here to the right. And I showed him a picture of it on my phone. And I said, look, I went to a flea market and I bought a wooden Buddha, and then I carved away the outside of the Buddha to reveal this inner shape. So I said, you're showing me the outside of Buddha and I'm showing you the inside of Buddha. So we made this collaboration called Buddha Inside and Out.
It's whatever these holes are somehow I'm really drawn to them, that they're like this irregular shape. Like it's why is that?
Yeah, so the reason there are holes is so that they can talk to each other.
No.
And the shape, the reason why they're irregular is it's like it's laser cut from a drawing, and when I put the drawing into Illustrator, then it made the circles that I had drawn into these weird irregular shapes. Originally I made it for another project, and then I reused this plexi piece for this frame. I really liked how it fit like at the head of the Buddha. And then it's sort of, I'm into this idea of like ideas traveling in the air.
It's a bit like a star.
Yeah, also like a sun. And so recently in the Netherlands, I don't know if you saw this in the news, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, they found a golden Buddha with a mummified monk inside of it. Yeah, so it basically a Dutch art collector dealer, he had this Buddha and he put it in a traveling exhibition, and then they discovered that there were bones inside of it. So they put it through a CT scanner in Groningen. There's really funny pictures of it online, of this sculpture going through this scanner. And so they put it through the scanner, and then they saw the bones were in a position of meditation, and it was a monk mummified inside of the sculpture. And so then it made really big news. And when it reached this international level, a village in the Huzjan province in China, they said, hey, wait a second, that's the Buddha that was stolen from our temple in 1995, and we would like to have it back. And so they made a lawsuit, and it went to court in Amsterdam. And about 2 years ago, the case was eventually dismissed, it was thrown out. And what I've read is that the judge dismissed it because the village did not have the legal standing to make this claim. So I don't really understand it. But the collector did feel bad about the situation, so he decided to give ice cream to the people in the village to make them feel better. This monk is actually self-mummification. It's an ancient practice called Soku Shinbutsu. And this practice is a bit obscure. There's not that many monks that have been found. Less than 50 of these mummified monks have been found in the world. But it's a self-mummification. So the monk eats a poison slowly over 1,000 days that dries out their body, so that when they die, their body doesn't decompose. They basically turn themselves into an object. The thing is, they say that if the monk is successful and their body does not decompose, then they immediately become a Buddha. And I had visitors to the performance who were from Japan, and they said Soku Shinbutsu, it literally translates to mean immediately becoming a Buddha. And this practice comes from Zen Buddhism, which was founded by the Bodhidharma, also known as Daruma in Japanese. I don't know if you're familiar with Daruma. Daruma says that inside of each of us is a Buddha. Daruma is also the name of this lamp. Daruma is also the name of a common doll that you can find in Japan or at Japanese gift shops or Japanese restaurants. You're familiar with it? They're like these paper mache dolls that are kind of in a ball shape. They're painted red and they have a face on them. And the thing is, when you get your Daruma, it comes with no eyes. And then you paint in one of the eyes when you decide a goal that you want to accomplish. And when you finally accomplish the goal, then you paint in the second eye. This is a Daruma that I made using the air conditioner from a Fiat Multipla. It's also a Daruma made in homage to one from Sara Giannini, a friend in Amsterdam. And she got a Daruma as a present, and she painted in one of the eyes. And then after some time passed, she forgot her goal. So now she's stuck with this one-eyed Daruma staring at her all the time, reminding her that she forgot. And at first I thought this is a really sad story, but the more that I think about it, the more I feel like the one-eyed Daruma is actually liberating, because it's saying you don't have to accomplish the goal. It's freed. You can just be, and maybe you'll accomplish all kinds of things you don't expect. Maybe you'll accomplish the goal without even knowing it. The other thing about this action of painting in the eyes that Junsheng explained to me is that when you paint in the eyes, you're waking up the Daruma. And this comes from a whole tradition of Buddhist iconographic painting, where eyes are the very last thing that are painted in. Because when you paint in the eyes, the image becomes alive. It wakes up. They would even do a ceremony where an artist would be present with a monk for the moment of painting in the eyes, or the artist would close their own eyes while painting in the eyes, so that when they opened their eyes, the image was alive, it was awake. But this Daruma from Sara is stuck. It's stuck in the state of being half awake and half asleep. So I was thinking, as a way to reflect on this, and as an end to the performance, that I would like to recite a poem for you from Giorno. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a poet from United States, from New York, who just died a little over a year ago. And this poem is called God is Man-Made. Yes, there is a God, and it is man-made. There is a God, and it is made by man. All the gods are made by you and me. We create the gods, and they look like us. Yes, there is a moment, recognizing intuitively the empty true nature of mind, beyond concepts and inconceivable. And then we began thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. Made it into ideas, made it concepts, made it into religions, invented all the self-serving religions, and then we said some words, and said it is the word of God. Words from God. And everybody believed it, wanted to believe it. We created God, and He looks like us. Yes, there is no hell. There are no hell worlds of devils and demons, other than the hell inside my mind. The hell inside my mind, the hell inside your mind, the hell you and I create around us. The hell we create around us. The hell we create around us and take with us into death. Yes, there is no heaven. There are no heaven worlds, other than the joy of you. Heaven is living in your eyes, living in your eyes, living in your eyes, seeing everybody in the world as gods and goddesses. Every wretched, grasping, ugly person is a deity, swimming in light. Yes, God's helping and making happy, helping and making happy. Demons hurting and harming is your own mind seeing itself. Yes, at the moment of death, at the instant of awareness, the gods are gone. If you go looking for heaven, you're in trouble. The gods vanish with the unborn, empty nature of mind. You are liberated through your own self-luminous awareness. Your own self-luminous awareness will always be with you. Yes, I will always be with you. 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 Yes, everything is delusion, including the most sacred. Everything is delusion, including the most profound wisdom. Everything is delusion, including the highest, most precious teachings, which lead to the realization that everything is delusion. The play of emptiness, awareness, and bliss. Finding it through yourself. 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 Self-luminous awareness. Ceaselessly coming.